Finding Cleopatra's undiscovered tomb, the mythical queen of ancient Egypt, is a holy grail for archaeologists. According to experts, such a finding would alter history and be a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence. According to one archaeologist, she may have done precisely that. Kathleen Martinez, a University of Santo Domingo archaeologist, has discovered a tunnel in northern Egypt that she thinks leads to Cleopatra's ultimate resting place. The 4,281-foot-long tube, buried 43 feet below, was discovered after almost 2 decades of research. The excavation uncovered a massive religious complex with 3 sanctuaries, a holy lake, and over 1,500 artifacts, including busts, sculptures, golden pieces, and a massive collection of coins depicting Alexander the Great, Queen Cleopatra, and the Ptolemies. We are going to talk about archaeologists who shocked the world and found Cleopatra's secret tomb. Welcome to our YouTube channel History Says, and don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Cleopatra is often misunderstood. Martinez told CNN that she admires Cleopatra as a student, linguist, mother, and philosopher, and believes the Egyptian queen is misunderstood. My persistence is not the same as an obsession. Cleopatra is a historical figure I respect. She was a victim of Roman propaganda aimed at distorting her image. She was an educated lady, arguably the first to study correctly at the museum in Alexandria, the hub of civilization in her day. Who was Cleopatra? Cleopatra was the queen of ancient Egypt from 51 BC until 30 BC. After losing a major military battle, her husband, the Roman commander Mark Antony, committed himself. Cleopatra quickly followed suit. Legend has it that she poisoned herself by letting a snake bite her, but historians today believe she poisoned herself in a less spectacular way. The famous deaths spawned countless novels, films, and a mystery. It is unknown where Cleopatra and Mark Antony are buried 2 millennia after their deaths. Martinez originally started looking for Cleopatra's tomb in 2005. Several signs led her to conclude that Cleopatra's tomb may be in the Temple of Osiris in Taposiris Magna, an ancient ruin zone on Egypt's northern shore near the Mediterranean Sea. The first hint is in the name. Cleopatra was thought to be the human manifestation of the goddess Isis, while her husband, Mark Antony, was supposed to represent the deity Osiris, Isis' spouse. Cleopatra may have buried her husband at the temple to fulfill the story. Excavations have shown that the temple was devoted to Isis, as well as passageways under the sea. It would be an almost unprecedented discovery. If the tomb of Cleopatra has not already sunk under the waters of the Mediterranean, along with much of the Hellenistic city of Alexandria, and is one day discovered, remarked Jane Draycott, a professor in classics at the University of Glasgow, on the Conversation This Week, a complete tomb would allow for a richness of scientific inquiry. While many prominent historical kings' graves still exist, the mausoleum of Augustus Antony and Cleopatra's greatest adversary in Rome is one example. Their contents were often robbed and destroyed centuries ago. One significant exception is the tomb of Philip Hugh of Macedon, Alexander the Great's father, discovered at Vergina in the late 1970s. The tomb was found intact, allowing for decades of scientific research into its contents and enhancing our understanding of members of the Macedonian royal family and their court. The same would be true if Cleopatra's tomb was unearthed and proved to be complete. Its contents would provide a wealth of fresh material for Egyptologists, classicists, ancient historians, and archaeologists. The majority of what we know about Cleopatra and her reign comes from ancient Greek and Roman literary sources, which were published after her death and were generally unfavorable to the Egyptian queen. We don't have a lot of material indicating the Egyptian viewpoint on Cleopatra, but what we do have, such as honorific reliefs on temples she erected and votives donated by her people, paints a totally different picture of her. The number of fresh knowledge Egyptologists, classicists, ancient historians, and archaeologists would be able to gather from its contents would be enormous. Assume the tomb was not submerged in the Mediterranean Sea. In that event, As with most Hellenistic cities, Alexandria might be the most significant archaeological discovery in decades. This week, the Economic Times agreed. If the tomb is discovered, the famed Cleopatra's history will alter forever. No other Ptolemaic ruler's tomb has ever been discovered. They were apparently all located in Alexandria's palace district and are thought to have submerged with the rest of the city. The architectural and material contents of the tomb alone would keep scholars busy for decades, revealing hitherto unknown details about Ptolemaic royal worship and the blending of Macedonian and Egyptian culture. But if Cleopatra's bones were also there, they may tell us a lot more, including the reason for her death, her physical appearance, and even her race. But should we hope to discover and analyze Cleopatra's remains? There is a long history of mismanagement and cruelty, from Tutankhamun to the ordinary ancient Egyptians, whose mummies have been unearthed throughout the years. While the days of unwrapping mummies as a kind of entertainment at Victorian dinner parties are happily past, individuals involved in history are increasingly concerned about the proper treatment of our forefathers. While the finding of Cleopatra's tomb would be invaluable to Egyptologists and other researchers, is it right to deprive the queen of the quiet and solitude she did not have in life? This concludes today's video. Thanks for watching, and if you like the video, give us big thumbs and subscribe to the channel.